at this point in time, when does the NCAA put up or shut up? When does this actually hit? Like, what do you have? Well, instead of Michigan suspending their coach on their own right, making it seem like these 50 some odd texts that he did erase were incriminating, and he must have known. And there's an asterisk to Team 144, despite Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, saying it's fair and square. When does this end? When do we get this is what we've got, this is what you did, this is what you're getting, now tell us where we're wrong, otherwise you shut up and you cough up games or, heaven forbid for my situation, a banner? Dan, when does that happen?
Well, yeah, Sherrone could go with the alleged Connor Stalions disguise, I guess, and show up on the sideline
that
anyway.
Would be great. I would love that. Just from a comedy, but other than that,
we don't know where those spy glasses are. Those have never been retrieved. Great moments in college football history. Well, the hearing is going to be June 6th and 7th, I believe, or 7th and 8th, something like that. Okay. They will finally have their hearing, and the NCAA will issue punishment after that. Will they strip victories? Would they do a future postseason ban? I don't know. Generally speaking, there isn't a lot the NCAA could do anymore in this era of revenue sharing and NIL that really impacts, like, even cutting number of, scholarships, right? Your quarterback, Bryce Underwood, is being paid 7 figures to go to Michigan. I think he can afford to be a walk-on if necessary, right? They don't need the in-state tuition for Bryce. I think he could cut it. So there's just limitations to what the NCAA can do. I don't know what they're going to come up with. They have not ever found a widespread understanding that Connor Stalions' actions were very far beyond Connor Stalions and a couple other guys in that, maybe a couple other guys in that, in his kind of level. So again, if anything, Sherrone Moore should have never deleted the text, because they, in some ways, made him look good, validated that he did not know. So, but this is where we're at. This is how NCAA violations go. They often end up being process crimes. It's really hard to catch anybody doing anything without real police power, even in the days of electronic communication.
And then the last one on this is, what's your expectation level once the hearing is concluded, and when we will get an answer from the NCAA that this episode, sorted or otherwise, is over? Dan?
I'd have to relook at my NCAA policies, but I think it's like within 45 days they'd have so something before the season. Again, I don't think they're going to strip any title. I don't think any of that stuff will happen. I don't know that they would have that, but the NCAA can do whatever they want on this. Maybe they make a big statement on it. They don't have a ton of cases anymore. Almost everything's legal, just not this. Mm-hmm. So we will see, but we'll see how much Michigan fights back. We'll see whether they can still come in with Sherrone Moore and say, no, we don't accept games 3 and 4. We're going to make them games 1 and 2.
Right.
They could say it has to be 4 games. Michigan could always rescind it if, say, they moved it and said, we want to suspend, I don't know. So Nothing is set. This is just the plan that Michigan is expected to suspend him as a self-imposed punishment to win some cooperation with the NCAA.
Well, if this is one of those hearings where you can call witnesses, and if this committee feels compelled to strip a title, and I'm Michigan, I call Charlie Baker to the stand. President Baker, what led you to believe that Michigan was winning fair and square if they were going to beat Washington in the national championship game? Your thoughts, sir? And just see what he answers. And again, it's just. Listen, obviously, I come to this conversation with a certain bias, fully admit it. My other degree from Northwestern means I need to disclose such things here, although I think it's quite obvious to everybody. But 45 days afterwards, I'm keen to hear the response. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live, weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.